Shalawam. Hey, Shalawam, Shalawam. Hey, all praise to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, this Chief Asa, K.O.Y. You know, letting the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans know that we are the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, the chosen people on this earth, though. You feel me? If you in California, Sacramento, or the Inland Empire, this is for you, especially if you met in these streets, right? A lot of y'all know me as True or Chief Asa, right? So, you know, we out here, you know, giving the information, giving this knowledge, being 10 toes down for the Most High, you feel me? And really having brotherhoods, you feel me? Like real talk, real talk. We're gonna have a great topic. We're gonna be breaking down the adoption. All right, we're gonna be talking about you know, current events, you know, and we're gonna just really break bread and really, you know, just talk on some things, right? No specific order, you know, but we're gonna really get to some things though, you know. How's everybody been? You know, have not been, you know, on here like that for a while. Been on TikTok lately. But I hope everybody been smooth. You feel me? Smoother than peanut butter. Alright, so we're gonna be talking about the adoption, man, because we gotta understand, you know, before we was even the sons of the Most High, we was the servants. Like real talk, before we was the sons of the Most High, we was the servants. We became sons. We became adopted, you know, into the family, right? We're the only nation that the Most High love. We're the only nation that the Most High love, y'all. So we're gonna be, you know, breaking down some precepts, some chapters, and we're gonna get to it. All right. So we're gonna go to Romans 9:4. Romans 9:4, it says, "Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory of the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises." So it says, who are Israelites? All right. So it says, who pertaineth the adoption. So to get the adoption, to be the brothers of Yahweh Shah, and to be the sons of Yahweh God, you have to be an Israelite. You can't be no white boy. You can't be no African. You can't be no so-called little hat Jewish, because we tell you guys all the time, you feel me? The little hat people in Israel right now, they're not the real Jews, right? They want to act like they're the real Jews. They in our land. They want to act like they got the adoption. They want to steal, you know, our birthright, but they can't, because everything's already prophesied in the Bible, and the Most High is not dumb. You feel me? He knows who his real children is, right? What they're doing is they're trying to trick the other nations, right? This is why everybody hates us. Everybody think we're fucking Hamites. You feel me? Everybody think we're Africans. You know, there's only a few leaders that let it be known that we are the children of Israel, right? Like real talk. So this is our birthright, right? This is not their birthright. Israel is our land. That's our nation, right? That's our birthright, right? It's not theirs, right? So we pertain to the adoption and the glory, right? The glory is the kingdom of heaven, the 12 tribes of Israel, all right? Like real talk, multiple ribs, right? Men actually being the leader of the household, right? We were taking over nations and whatnot, right? That's what, that's glory. Us ruling over the other nations. What a rod of iron, right? And that's what's gonna happen when Yahweh shall come back, right? It's gonna be glory, right? It's gonna be war before, we have our land built, right? It's gonna be giving glory on how we become free, because right now we're not free, right? But we're gonna become free as a people, right? We're gonna actually get our hands dirty, right? And it's gonna be glorious, right? When we destroy these heathen nations, when we put especially Judah, when we put our hands around their neck, right? Judah, we sufficient with our hands, right? Like right now, hey, we building brick by brick by brick, right? To make sure, right, we're righteous and worthy for that glory, right? To even see that day, right? And there's going to be more glorious moments to come. Then it says in the covenants, right? The covenants, man. The promises. The Most High don't promise every nation everything. You feel me? Just anything. You feel me? He promised that we're going to rule forever, right? He promised Abraham that we're going to be a mighty nation, man. Like real talk. Man, goddamn the white man, goddamn the Chinese man, goddamn the African. You feel me? It's all about you black so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans who are Israelites, right? That's what it's really about, right? Ain't about nobody else, man. Like real talk. Then it says, and the giving of the law. All right, the laws of the Most High was given to us. So don't take your Bible, as some little thing. It's just paper. It's just a book. It's way more than that. Study these laws, right? Like real talk. These laws, if you love your people, if you love your God, if you love your family, you're gonna keep these laws, right? And you're gonna get with righteous brothers that's willing to put away all that bullshit, all that dumb shit they used to do in the worldly days. The niggas that's actually tired, you feel me, of being trapped in the damn system, being trapped in the hood, right? Being trapped under a woman and shit. You feel me? Like real talk, men that's like actually tired being oppressed by white crackers. Like real shit, man. We gotta get ready for this, man. You gotta understand these laws is given to you, Black, Latino, Native American man. You will have more rulership if you kept these laws. And if you were serious about these laws. Right? This is why you see us in these street corners teaching it. We're not just talking about it. We're doing it too. You feel me? Like real talk. Then it says, and the services of Yahweh and the promises. All right, so like I said, we out in the streets. All right, we're doing the services of the Most High. We keep them laws in the Shabbat days, in the holy days, man. We loving our brothers, our sisters, you feel me, our wives, our children, whatever it is, you feel me, within our kinsmen, you feel me, our kinfolk. We love our people. You feel me? I don't love everybody, man. I only love blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. I don't, like real shit, man. Like I look at our people with the highest. You feel me? Regard. You feel me? We're real talk, we're royalty, right? We're real, we really are royalty. All right. So I mean that's Romans 9:4. That tell you about the adoption right there. You feel me? And I'm not even done with it though. This is John. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do this right here. I'm gonna go to right here. This is John 1 and 12, right? It says, but as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. All right, so it's talking about if Israelites who believe in Yahushua. There's a lot of only Old Testament Israelites out there that don't believe in the New Testament, right? They're not the sons, all right, that's adopted by the Most High until they acknowledge the New Testament and they acknowledge Yahushua Christ being a black man, all right, and being our brother, right, and dying on the cross for us and our people. Yahushua Christ died just so we can be adopted within the family, right? Your adoption comes by the shedding of blood from God's son. Like, nigga, think about that. You feel me? Man, y'all ain't listening. Y'all ain't listening to what's being said right now. Y'all don't hear me though, right? Nah, they don't hear me though. Let me get some more of this, right? Let me get some more of this. Alright, I think I want to read more of John 1. Read more bit of some more of John 1. It's John 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yahweh. God, Yahweh is God, right? And the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God, and all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made, right? So you gotta understand, who is the Word? Who is the Word? All right, let's get that for you. All right, so we go to 2 Timothy 2 and 15. It says, study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, right? So who's the word of truth? Who is the word? Who comes to divide? Right? It's Yahushua, right? It's Yahushua. He's the word. All right? And he's also known as truth, right? The truth, right? So watch this. We're gonna go to Romans 9. We're gonna start at verse 1. And I say the truth in Christ, which is Yahushua, I lie not, my consciousness also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed with Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. So when we talking about Yahushua was an Israelite, right? The adoption only goes to Israel, right? The adoption only goes to Israel, nobody else, right? That's why it says right here on verse 3, for I can wish myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, right? Showing that Christ is his brethren of his people, my kinsman, meaning he's of his people, his nation, according to the flesh, meaning DNA, right? Nationality, right? You know, so when people say color doesn't matter in the Bible, they a damn lie, right? And when people say Christ died for everybody, that's a damn lie, right? It says, who are Israelites, to who pertaineth the adoption. So who the ones that he died for is the one who pertaineth the adoption, right? He's, you know, Christ didn't come down to the earth to sacrifice himself for the heathens, right? He did it for Israel, right? Not just the land. I'm talking about the people of Israel, because we was a people before we was the land, right? The people of Israel would be from the 12 tribes of Israel, and them little hat people in Israel are not real Israelites, right? It says, and the glory in the covenant in the giving of the law in the services of God and promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, right? It's still connecting Israel to Yahushua, YASHARAHLA to Yahushua, because it's concerning of the flesh, right? It says, concerning the flesh, Christ came, right? Who is over all. Yahweh God bless forever. Amen. Right? So man, watch this, man, because y'all don't think y'all hearing it right now. I don't think you hearing it all right now, man. Let me do this real quick. Real quick. Alright. Then it says, verse 6, not as though the word of God have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel, right? So even because people are Israelites by DNA and bloodline, that don't mean they're actually Israelites, because they could be 2/3. They could be the ones who's rejecting. Like when we go out in these streets and we're like, hey brother, you an Israelite, and you just ignore it, and we breaking it down with all extreme patience, right, and understanding, and you making mockery, right, and you going against the truth. Hey, you could be one of the ones who's not, who is not Israel, right? Because you going against, your spirit is going against the truth, right? So it says, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they our children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. So that even goes into debunking accepting other nations into this truth, right? Accepting other nations into this truth, right? Because even though they come from Abraham, they're not children of the Most High. It's through Isaac, because Isaac had the 12. Isaac had Jacob, and Jacob had the 12 sons. Isaac also had Esau, but Esau got cut off, right? So he's not talking about Esau, right? He's talking about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Then it says, that is that which are the children of the flesh. They are not the children of God. So even our people, right, who's only concerned with, like, sexual relationships, drugs, making money and shit, you feel me? Being prideful, disobedient, arrogant, you feel me? You know, that's a fleshly trait, right? That's a fleshly trait, right? A lot of them can't kill that flesh off. So they children of the flesh, right? Right? These are not the children of God, right? Because how do you become a child of God? It's by keeping the laws, right? Which is discipline, right? Yeah, you can drink, you can turn up with your ox and YASHARAHLA, you can turn up, you feel me? You can still listen to music and all that if you're really grounded into this information. You feel me? But you gotta be of the spirit though, man. You gotta keep the statute, laws, commandments, and have restraint, right? Have decorum, right? These are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. All right? So the children of the promise is counted for as a seed, right? All right, then it says, for this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. Right? All right, so we're basically talking about, you feel me, Israel. You know, we have the adoption. All right, we're the only people that are gonna get saved and drafted into the kingdom of heaven. Right? Matthew 15 and 24, KJV. So this is Matthew 15 and 24, right? Slack it. Matthew 15 and 24. Alright, so this is Matthew 15 and 24. I'm gonna start at 22. Matthew 15 and 22. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil, right? But he answered her not a word. All right, so Yahushua Christ, right? Hey, it was this African Canaanite woman, right, who was trying to get help from Christ, right? She was trying to get help from Christ, all right, who was a black man, right? And he looked, you know, Christ being a black man, seeing an African woman. Christ is a Negro, seeing an African woman. She trying to get help, and he ignores her, right? Disrespectful, right? YASHARAHLA. Then it says, but he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, send her away, for she crieth after us. You feel me? And that's how, you know, they put the swag on. It was like, man, send her away. Man, she cry after us, man. You feel me? You know how Israel is. You feel me? Then it says, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? Because, you know, Christ is only sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, to the ones who, you know, pretend the adoption, right? He's not sent to everybody, man. You know, despite popular belief. All right? You know, but, you know, it goes on. He eventually did help her, though. You feel me? But you gotta let her know, like, bitch, you feel me? I'm only doing this for my people. You feel me? But I respect your faith, so I'm gonna help you, all right? You know, you don't get salvation, though, but I'm gonna help you. So it says, then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, it is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs. So he says, man, hey, it's not meat. It's not regular to take the children. You know, it's not a good thing to take the children bread, right? To give it to you dogs. He called the Canaanite bitch a dog, right? You feel me? Because what's a female dog? A bitch, right? So he called her a bitch, right? He says it's not. He said, what did he say? He said, but he answered and said, it is not meat to take the children bread and cast it into dogs. Man, y'all don't understand, man. Like, the Most High don't care about these damn, you know, these damn Hamites, damn pork chop mites, man. He don't care about them pork mites, them Hamites, man. He don't. All right. And it says, then it says, let's be slap right here. Then it said, then she said, truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from the master's table. So the little bitch was slick, right? Said some slick shit, right? Like, okay, yeah, it's not, y'all ain't supposed to give us y'all children bread, but we can surely eat the crumbs that fall from the table, right? And he was, man, like, you begging bitch. You feel me? He said, all right. He says, then Yahushua answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith. Be it unto thee even as I will. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. So that even shows, man, if the heathen faith can move like that, right? He's only using her as an example. If I would do this for this heathen because she had faith, imagine what I would do to you. You feel me? And I'm your king. Because Yahushua Christ is our brother, but he's our king. So, you know, imagine that though. Man, matter of fact, watch this. Watch this preset. This is Matthew 17 and 20. Alright. It says, and Yahushua said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. So all you got to do is have faith as a small grain of a mustard seed. All right, you see how much a mustard seed is weighed. How much is one grain of mustard seed? How much do one grain of mustard seed weigh? It says a mustard seed has a mass of about 0.002 grams. Man, that you know, man, that don't weigh nothing. You feel me? If you have that type of faith, though, hey, shit. If you have that much faith, imagine what you can do, right? Imagine what you can do. All right? You know, so you understand, like, you know, like an adopted child, right? You know, especially like when you watch the old movies called Annie, and they was going into these I forgot what them houses called, the orphanages, right? They would look for the most brightest and the most, the most brightest and intelligent, child. You feel me? And they would adopt them and treat them like their own, right? they at their best behavior. So it's the same way with us. We got to be on our best behavior. We got to be, sophisticated. We got to be, savvy with the precepts, keeping the statute, laws, commandments. Have honor and dignity, and about us. You feel me? We got to be righteous and holy, so the Most High will see us and take us in, because all of Israel's not Israel, right? You got to actually fight for this. You got to fight for this crown, man. Like real talk. Like real talk. Hey, four tribe. K.O.Y. I praise to the Most High. YASHARAHLA. You feel me? I'm loving this though. You feel me? Like real talk. We ain't done though. We're not done at all. This is so we're now going to read a little article, right? So we gotta be ready. We gotta be ready to prep for war to come. You feel me? Because it's gonna get real bad, man. It's gonna get real bad. In America. You feel me? With all this war and the politicking. You feel me? All right, real talk. Check this out. This is the time.com. The article says, why so many politicians are talking about World War III. All right, it says, and I'm going to skip through certain things. I'm going to read a little thing and skip through it. But it says, not too long ago, some Americans feared and experience and delusional President Donald Trump would start World War III. Now, he's basing his comeback bid on avoiding it, right? So you understand. Remember when Donald Trump was in office? When he was in office, shit, he had everybody fooled. A lot of us thinking that this nigga may start World War fucking III. You feel me? How he was talking, called it Kim Jong-un, Rocket Boy, all that. Y'all remember when we was doing them podcasts? You feel me? Like four years ago on the original channel. You feel me? We was doing I forgot what the shows we called it. We called it what would we call it? Purge Night, right? On the Purge Night episode, we wanted to bring that one back. I was feeling Purge Night. He's talking about all the prophecies and the destruction of America in the 2/3. You feel me? But yeah, Donald Trump was at a point in time, everybody thinking that he was going to be the one that was going to start and kick off World War III and to stay president. But look what's going on. Shit, Biden is the one that's doing that. He's doing this basically to benefit from war. Because believe it or not, these presidents get motherfucking rich when they go to war, y'all. So it says, in a recent fundraising email, Trump lamented, "It truly breaks my heart to see Crooked Joe, the weakest and most competent president in history, ruin our country as he pushes America to the brink of World War III. On the campaign trail, he's boasted that he's the only one that will prevent World War III, right? So he's telling everybody, hey, shit, I'm the only one that's going to prevent it, right? Then it says, amid ongoing wars between Russia and Ukraine and Israel and Hamas, fears about the prospect of another world war on rising. And Trump is just one of the politician figures employing such dark languages on the left, the right, and even within the White House. The specter of the kind of global conflict not seen for nearly 80 years is proven to be useful rhetorical tool, even through it. It's a comparison that historians say isn't apart from the current moment. This is language This is language, I think, expanding way beyond the capability for reality to sustain it, says Jay Winter. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Then it says a survey conducted by the Americans Psychological Association soon after Russia invaded Ukraine last year found that nearly 7 in 10 Americans feared that we are in the beginning stages of World War III, a sentiment that allies of Russia's President Vladimir Putin have encouraged. The organizations has not asked the question since then, but the outbreak of war in the Middle East appears to be raising those fears again. In an interview, The Hill this month, Democrat Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia said, I have had to answer in a question from people that I never had to answer in 30 years of public life, which is, could this be World War III? Right? Because any moment, nukes could start being launched, right? From city to city, country to country, whatever. You feel me? And America could be invaded at any time, like real talk. And our people is not even worried about the shit that's going on in life right now. Like they're not worried about the shit that's going on around the world and politics. So a lot of them is not even worried about the scriptures, right? The white man did a crazy job in, making our people be distracted, like real talk. But I am starting to see a lot of our people, especially on TikTok, wake up to what's going on, right? Just not as fast, but they still waking up, right? But watch this. Trying to find a recent video real quick. Let me see what they're talking about.
It's the year 2033. After decades of global unipolar rule, after decades of foreign wars and economic extortion, Uncle Sam has finally done the unforgivable. McDonald's has been nationalized and every foreign franchise around the world has been shut down.
So this is an Edomite talking, right? The title of this video says, could the United States ever be invaded, right? A war graphic analyst, right? So he's a war graphic analyst. So we're going to break down and try to dissect some of the war graphics that he's breaking down right now, right?
Not a single McNugget left behind. That, fellow citizens of the world, was a bridge too far, and the Americans must be stopped before this lunacy goes any further. Everyone's put aside their differences. The United Kingdom, China, the European Union, Russia, India, Iran, South Korea, North Korea, and every other military on Earth are in lockstep for the first time in history. America will be taken by force and put back in its place once and for all. But
so he's being sarcastically serious by being funny, right? But he's being serious, right? But notice what he said. He says America gonna be, and taken and put back in this place, right?
in a hypothetical situation such as this, what would happen to the United States of America? Many military experts consider the country, or at least its 48 contiguous states, to be uninvadable, even as the spectre of an occupied America haunts the dreams of many politicians and ordinary US citizens.
So he said a lot of them believe, a lot of experts of war believe America is, unevadable. Unevadable, right? Like they can't invade America, right? But watch this. This is hold on. This is Obadiah 1:3. It says, the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitations is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? All right, America is the only nation on this earth, you know, truly believes that they won't go down by nobody, right?
In today's War of Rabbits analysis, we're going to dive into the practical feasibility of an invasion of the United States and form a final verdict on whether the American eagle could ever fall from the sky.
Did you hear that? If the American eagle could fall from the sky, right? Let's go back to that. Let's break down that eagle real quick, right? Because that's prophetic right there, right? This is Isaiah 40:31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew. Matter of fact, hold on. That's not the one. Slack, yeah. I think it's back on Obadiah, honestly. Yeah, it's on Obadiah, back on Obadiah. It says, the pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitations is high. All right, because we understand that the white man loves to stay on high, you know, altitude, right? They like to be on the skyscrapers and also cliffs of the rocks, right? They like to be on helicopters and jets and all that shit. You feel me? You know, that's they shit, right? Then it says, who habitations is high, that saith in their heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? It says, thou exalt thyself as an eagle, right? Who exalt himself as an eagle? All right, it'll be the so-called European white man, all right, from Greece, Rome to America, right? So for the fact that he said that, he says, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh, right? Because the Bible calls them thieves, right? So watch what he just said. Watch what he just said. Let me go back. Bingo.
States and form a final verdict on whether the American eagle could ever fall from the sky.
And I'm watching this right now. This is my first time watching this, right? So it's crazy. So it says the hypothetical.
Now, before we get into the meat of this analysis, we've got to establish one thing very clearly. Purely as a technicality, it is possible for the United States to be successfully invaded, at least on some level. One dude with a rowboat, a plastic knife, and no pants could definitely not do it. An army of 10 billion well-supplied futuristic 28th century Navy SEAL cyborgs with lightsabers for hands could definitely do it. There is a threshold somewhere that's not really up for debate, but the question is, where is that threshold? And does any modern military have any hope of crossing it without the lightsabers for hands? Look, in order to achieve success, our global coalition will have to gain control of the continental United States. Not part of it, but all of it. They'll have to neutralize American leadership in some way or another, deal with American military power, and most importantly, they can't just bombard America with nuclear weapons or even start a nuclear exchange. After all, if they did that, there would be no America left to invade, and the rest of the world would undoubtedly take a bit of a shellacking too. Instead, we're going to assume that the United States will not engage in a nuclear-first strike, but that if they're attacked with nuclear weapons, they will respond proportionally.
So he's trying to say it's impossible to invade and the only way they can do something about America if they nuke it. But this is how prideful these damn Edomites are. Yeah, their military strength is really powerful. I'll give them that. You feel me? But it's not impossible to be invaded. If that's the case, 9/11 would never have happened, right?
The coalition will have to invade without the use of strategic nuclear weapons, at least until they can neutralize America's ability to fire back. Now, before we get into our war games, it's important to note that foreign powers have attempted or planned to invade the United States before with varying levels of success. In the War of 1812, Britain tried its best to achieve an Empire Strikes Back moment across the eastern seaboard, capturing Washington, D.C. and burning down the US Capitol and the Executive Mansion, which today is called the White House. A few decades later, in the American Civil War, armies from both the Union and Confederacy waged war on each other's claimed soil, culminating in a Union march through the American Deep South that leveled several cities. At the end of the 19th century, Kaiser Wilhelm II ordered the plans be drawn up for an Imperial German invasion of the US, where thousands of soldiers would land on Cape Cod in Massachusetts and march on Boston, although for what it's worth, the writer of today's video is actually from Boston, and which...
He named 3 examples when America got invaded, all right? And remind you, they didn't have the same technology they have now, you feel me, that they had back then. Now it's way more advanced.
Any invading force, good luck. The Kaiser also planned to bombard Manhattan by sea, followed, we presume, by a march on New York. In the 20th century, Canada drew up war plans to invade the United States in response to fears about growing Austrian power after World War I. These plans included the use of so-called flying columns, small, independent and highly mobile land units to take several cities in the state of Maine. And although both Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan in World War II recognized that they were unlikely to be able to attack the United States without victories in the European and Pacific theaters, both countries considered strategic bombing and even missions. While none of these realities make an invasion of the United States technically impossible, they do make it incredibly difficult under the best of circumstances. The prospect of a global invasion of the US has quite a few points of potential failure. If US forces abroad are able to hold out, if Americans can hold Hawaii and Alaska, if a land invasion from Mexico or Canada isn't feasible, or if American cities can be evacuated in time, then a successful invasion becomes very, very difficult to achieve. On the other hand, the United States can force failure at any one of those points, or cause delays and protracted military exchanges for as long as they need to. In order to understand what an invasion might actually look like in practice, we can game out a few scenarios. Now, obviously, we're not qualified military strategists, so please take this with a lot of grains of salt and feel free to wargame out your own version of events in the comment section below. In the first scenario...
Yeah, we're taking that with a lot of grain of salt because already we said it's kind of bullshit, but he has some idea on how it can turn out. You feel me?
We've got an amphibious invasion, one in which the American coasts are attacked by the forces of the Eastern Hemisphere, while forces stationed on the American supercontinent can attack by land. In this case, we anticipate that while Hawaii and most remote American military bases would eventually fall, they would first be used as forward staging areas for counterattacks to harass an invasion force. Many heavy troop transport ships and other major naval vessels would be lost in the attempt to take Hawaii, taking with them a number of elite troops and some of the best armored transport vessels at the cost of several American carriers and dozens of other American ships and strategic bombers. Once Hawaii is secured, the amphibious invading forces would have to spread themselves thin along the eastern and western seaboards in order to prevent the United States from concentrating overwhelming force at a more limited number of beachheads. But during this time, even more troop carriers would be lost, and despite attempts to land paratroopers and attack with naval support, we expect that very few amphibious attacks would be able to establish a beachhead with their limited number of soldiers. Those that did would be pushed back, and with so many transport ships destroyed, there would be only limited resources left to fight at sea or threaten second invasion attempts. Global naval forces would be forced to retreat against the combined onslaught of American naval and air counterattack, and on land, the Canadian military from the north and the combined forces of South America pushing up through Mexico would be beaten back fairly easily by a combination of active military and volunteer forces. So
they're saying the invasion will have to start and Hawaii invaders who had to come through Canada, north and also south through Mexico, right? And they feel like they will be stopped by the military force. I don't feel that way. I feel like it would be a crazy battle, right? And I also think if there was an EMP and all type of things into play, right? Especially an EMP, or they did something with the power grid, it would be way easier to combat and also terrorize, you feel me, America, right? So this is why we tell them brothers and sisters to actually be on their guard and keep them statute laws, commandments, because it's gonna get ugly, right? Like this is real right here.
Score one for America. In the second scenario, we'll assume that Alaska falls to the forces of the world without much issue, and South America becomes a viable staging ground for an overland invasion. In this case, the United States is unable to project quite as much force to defend Hawaii, although submarines continue to sustain an assault against amphibious landing forces where they can. Due to the prospect of an overland invasion, global navies may establish a blockade or defensive perimeter around the United States, and although it would be difficult to hem in any submarines, surface vessels should be easy enough to contain. Ground troops mass in Canada and South America and move to attack the United States. During this time, the US is able to prevent troop landings in Mexico, rely on Texan and Californian bases in the Gulf of Mexico. In order to establish the bottleneck that we mentioned earlier, US troops surge into Mexico, pushing back a far smaller and less prepared Mexican military to at least Mexico City and probably to the edge of the states of Veracruz and Oaxaca. There, they would be able to defend a narrow point of under 200 miles. The US may also attempt to secure Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula in order to preserve the Gulf of Mexico as a staging ground for aerial attacks. In this instance, we believe that a combined American naval, air, and ground force would be able to hold back invasion from the south, while amphibious forces wait to attack, leaving only an overland invasion from Canada as a possibility. Although Seattle, parts of New England, and even Chicago could conceivably be lost during this invasion, it's unlikely that these areas could be attacked before the US can evacuate civilians and organize a defense. With such a vast border to attack, it's likely that an attacking force would need...
And you gotta understand, a lot of things happen by surprise as well. You feel me? You can't just say that, America military just powerful enough to hold these people back. Man, like, you gotta think about it. They got just the same amount of guns they got, right? And they got the material to make the bullets and all type of shit, you feel me? So, like, that's wishful thinking, right? America doesn't have too much longer to survive, you feel me? But this is why, you feel me, I don't know, it's in my spirit to talk about this. Hope this resonate with a lot of y'all, our people. Remember, keep them statute laws, commandments. You gotta remember you're in the adoption, right, of YASHARAHLA, right? You the sons and the daughters of the Most High. Take it serious, right? Take it serious, right? And Shalawam Barakatah. I'm gonna say call Allah Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Shalawam, y'all. Barakatah. 2:30 in the morning, try to upload this, all right? Shalom.